Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is so insane that it's already springtime. Especially here in SoCal, it feels so hot outside. It genuinely feels like it's summertime right now, going through this heat wave. And I know it's like, why are you wearing a turtleneck? But it's actually one of the few shorter sleeved shirts that I have out right now. But I thought this would be the perfect time to go through some atmospheric spring reads because while I'm not a big seasonal reader and I also don't enjoy spring or summer all that much, having those seasonal reads that are very atmospheric for the season kind of helped me get into the vibe of the season and relax a little bit more. So, without further ado, let's go through my atmospheric spring read recommendations. First on the list, I think this book can go in between autumn or spring, really, because maybe it's just because I read it in autumn that it feels kind of a little bit like an autumn book, but it feels very much like a spring book. I don't know, it's kind of a conundrum in my head, but that is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is one of the cutest, warmest cozy fantasies that I've read so far. It follows this librarian who has to flee her library in this big island city because there is a war going on. And she tries to save as many books and her talking spider plant. And she ends up going back to her family island village. And while she's there, she realizes maybe she can help these people with, the books that she brought with her and with the jam that she can make. And it's just so cozy and comfortable. And she's very awkward. and our male main interest in here, he's also pretty awkward, but they are so cute together. It has a very slow burn, but very much a cute romance in there. Plus, there are the most delicious sounding cinnamon rolls ever. And it made me want to have cinnamon rolls every time I opened up this book. Okay, next, it's kind of a younger read, but it's a wonderful classic, very much spring, very much this hopeful energy that spring gives. It's Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. And I actually haven't read this in such a long time, but I do remember reading it when I was younger, and it is the cutest ever. Especially this edition that I got from, I think it's Barnes& and Noble. Let me see. Yeah, Barnes& and Noble. Got this really cute illustration of Anne and the house and flowers and trees. And then we've got these beautiful birds and flowers and leaves all around the whole book, even on the back. On the back it says, "I don't know what lies around the bend, but I'm going to believe that the best does." Honestly, that is one of the most hopeful lines that I've read in a while, and it really does embody that hopefulness that spring brings. Okay, the next one is one of my all-time favorite books. It's Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is the second book in her When in Rome series. So, and this one follows Annie Walker, who is kind of a ray of sunshine, really. But she's having a hard time in the dating department. She can't find anybody, especially in this small town that she lives in. She enlists the help of our very handsome, tattooed male main character, Will, who is the bodyguard of her brother's fiance from the first book, and kind of like lessons in dating. And then he, of course, doesn't want to change her because he likes who she is. It is honestly really cute, lighthearted, and beautiful, very spring. She owns a flower shop. So I think that's probably why it feels so spring esque, because her owning the flower shop, and he has tattoos of flowers as well. But again, the romance in here is so sweet. And her family in here is also very kind and sweet and comforting. Okay, the next is actually the fourth book of Sarah Adams' When in Rome series. This is the last book in your dreams. And this follows Madison Walker, the last Walker sibling, the youngest Walker sibling, who is kind of feeling like she's failed in life as a chef in New York and ends up going back home and helping run a restaurant with her brother's friend who she had a crush on when she was younger. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say second chance romance because there wasn't really one in the first place, but it's like brother's best friend mixed with childhood crush type of a romance. And I do like the way that they kind of grow, especially Madison, having grown from where she was in New York to where she ends up in the book, which I think kind of emulates this idea in Spring of growing as a person. Then we have one that's more of a thriller. It's a YA thriller, actually. It's Five Survive by Holly Jackson. So this follows a group of friends who are on spring break and they're in an RV traveling to Florida. But on their trip, the RV ends up breaking down, sort of, more like losing some of their tires, and they end up trapped by someone who wants to find out the answer or secret that one of them has, but not one of them is willing to give up the secrets that they are hiding. And every single one of them is hiding a secret. Now, the last one on my list for atmospheric reads this spring is one that I feel fits towards the end of spring, beginning of summer, and it's Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This is actually my favorite in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. So this one follows Wes and Ada. Wes is one of the siblings in the Ryder family, and each one of the books follows one of the members of the family. And so in this one, Ada's trying to like pick up her life again, start over, and Wes is kind of trying to make a name for himself in a way. I think their romance is one of my favorites in the book series, but this one I feel like fits spring because she has a bunch of tattooed flowers, but then again, it also has that kind of feel of starting over and growing as human beings, and I think that fits really well with spring. Now, for books that are on my physical TBR that I think fit this idea in atmosphere of spring. First, we have Thorn Season, and just the cover of Thorn Season looks very much spring. We've got the flowers, we've got I think it's like, I don't know if that's a crown or, I think it's a crown right there above Thorn, and it's just gorgeous. And then we've got the sprayed edges, which are also very much spring. And then we have the inside pages that are also very much spring. And I don't know about you guys, but like I love to pick up fantasy during the spring. And I don't know if it's like escapism, but I do genuinely love a good fantasy during the springtime. And so I'm really excited to actually pick up Thorn Season. I might pick it up pretty soon. It says, an heiress possessing illegal magic who has more to lose than just her secrets. A harsh and glittering royal court where the threat of discovery lurks around every corner. To beguiling and dangerous men who might be her salvation or her ruin. It's rose season at the palace, but survival will depend on becoming the most vicious of thorns. And then the back says, "You wanted a dare," he said. "So here it is. Call for your king. Have them put me in chains." One step closer, and he towered over me. "You're such a viper," he whispered, his specter grazing like fingertips down my arm. "Then go ahead, my lady, strike." And I think it's like perfect because we have these rose bushes and the thorns on those are insane and they're always like grabbing our clothes, our bags, even fingers. So thorn season I feel like is perfect with spring and flowers. Then the last one I have on my physical TBR for the spring season, and I'm actually going to be picking up next because, well, you'll see in a different video. And that is Wild Revenants by Rebecca Ross. I have talked about this cover so many times because it's just freaking gorgeous with these flowers, and in the back has this beautiful sword. I've also read about this, I think, before, but it's, I believe, a prequel to the Divine Rivals. Born in the firelit domain of Underrealm, Matilda is the youngest goddess of her clan. Blessed with humble I can't I read today. Blessed with humble messenger magic she uses to carry words and letters through the realms, but the gods will kill for power, and Matilda holds a secret she must hide from even her dearest allies. And there's a mortal who dreams of her, though they have never met in the waking world. 10 years ago, Vincent of Beckett wrote to Matilda on the darkest night of his life, begging the goddess he befriended in dreams to help him. His request went unanswered, and Vincent became a hardened, irreverent lord of the river who has long forgotten Matilda, until she comes tumbling into his bedroom window with a letter for him. It's so gorgeous, too. It's very much spring-esque. And again, I will talk more about this in my other video that will have more to do with this book in just a couple weeks. And that's actually all of the books I have in this atmospheric spring recommendation video. What kind of books do you like to pick up in the springtime? Like, what calls you? I would love to know and hear every single one of them. Please drop them in the comments. And thank you. Please like and subscribe for future content. Bye.